Hello Flosstube, it's been a little while. Welcome back to MJ's Stitching Memories. I am also known as Melissa or a number of other names, but MJ is the most consistent one, so we're gonna go with that. Today I am unfortunately not camping, which is what I'd planned to be doing by now. My campfire s'mores and stars is not being adequately utilized yet, so hopefully I will get healthy enough in the spring. Although this is a channel predominantly about cross stitch, because it is also about my memories. Things about my life comes up, my stitching memories especially, and things about health comes up because that affects my stitching. So we have a lot of things going on. I have varieties of videos from short little snippets to almost movie length. So I'm hoping that there'll be something for someone, or you know, a little bit of everyone. If you like it, what I'm showing today, which is very little, go ahead and give a thumbs up. Recommend to a friend if you'd like. I will try and keep my language as PG as possible, but things sometimes slip out, and I'll apologize there in advance. It is basically, you know, it was whip parade season about a month ago, and then now it's like seeing the results of everyone's fair, you know, fair results at various local, county, state fairs, which is so exciting. I love seeing needlework representative. I love seeing people bringing home those ribbons. And I got one lady in particular, you know, 2 thumbs up. Hope it goes well. I know it will. And to a young gentleman out there, let's see how many you can bring home. I bet you quite a few. So the first thing I'm going to show is a whip I was actually working on today at the doctor's office, and I don't know if I have an adequate cover picture of it. I'm gonna, you know, look here and see if I can find one. It is a well-known, not forgotten farms chart. She's made a couple of charts in this. Can't see what I'm typing. As we all know, I need glasses. She made a couple of charts that have these little characters, and they are, you know, little kind of farmer type characters. This one is a bee with his trousers, and bee's knees is just appropriate for this because I think he's the bee's knees. So this is the whip I've been working on, and I had quite a bit of his trousers, but I put his socks on today, and I'm starting to put, you know, hands, and it's either 16 or 18 count, and I think it's Flova. I really like this variegated fabric, and I do apologize for the wrinkles. But you know, he's got the cutest little socks and feet, and this is gonna start the outline of his face. So I just, you know, kind of got inspired today, kind of had a rough day at the doctor, not great news. So decided that I'll memorialize this with something positive and show some whips, right? We'll show a little bit about what's going on. Maybe I'll even show a couple, because I don't really have a lot with me, but I might show a couple like planned starts perhaps. So let's see how that goes. The next is a dimensions kit, and I don't think I have done much to it since you last saw it, if anything at all, but it's just, I think it's just called Deer, or Red Deer. And it's just a small little kit. It came with everything, including the little frame. I'm just, y'all know I'm gonna have hanging threads, right? Because either it's a marked thread and or it's a thread, the needle fell off the back, like in this case, or I just didn't feel like cutting it off. So I'm really getting close, and I anticipate this will be my next finish. So I just really have this upper portion and a little bit over here to finish, and well, yeah, I guess I do have more in both antlers. I don't think his ear's done either. I think he's got, so I have a little bit more to go on it than I think, but not an awful lot. Again, that's why I think he's potentially going to be my next finish. And what I'm doing is just kind of grabbing the bags out of my travel bag and seeing what's in there. So this is just a pattern. This is kind of my next kit up. That's why it's with me. There was an event that I needed some different things for. I think it was a night or pans or feet or something I didn't end up being able to do because of my medical schedule, but this was one I'd wanted for it, and it's by Dragon Dreams, which is a Canadian designer, it looks like, that made the pattern. The illustration is by Jennifer L. Eichmann Smith, and it's called No Late Night Snacking. And it is just the cutest. I think it's very appropriate because it's Year of the Dragon. I love kind of Knights of the Round Table, all things medieval. And of course, sometimes I need to not snack at night. So it fits many purposes, and so this is why it is with me, is should I have a chance to get to a floss store, it will be it'll be available. So Raven is a pattern I've looked at a number of times, and I've looked at it like similar ones by different, not similar enough, but different enough I don't think anybody was copying anybody, but it is a silhouette of a raven, and within the silhouette is a like a forest scene, and I do not have a cover picture of it. I thought I did. So we'll just have to kind of show you what I have, which I don't think is anything more since you last saw it. So this is going to be the bottom of his tail. And so as his tail feather comes up, and it kind of stays in one color for a while, it starts the base of the trees, and then it'll switch to another color, become some more layers of trees, and another color, more layers of trees, and then it gets into his head and his beak, and it finishes out both the silhouette of the raven and the tree line. And then of course his feet are going to be about right here. So this is what had kind of got me stopped on it, is I had misplaced my color palette, and when I went to go find it, I realized I had dispersed the colors elsewhere. So I finally have them back. Colors I think go well. I have a different, I guess, aesthetic when it comes to colors. I'm not good at seeing color combinations or recognizing what does and doesn't go well together sometimes. Like in clothes, I will wear brown, black, brown, black, blue, and gray kind of all at the same time. And I'll throw brown in. I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. So when it comes to creating my own color palettes on cross stitch art, I just kind of wing it most of the time. This is B from Stitch and Hang. It's another little kit, and I think I stopped because I had some frogging to do, and I've got a mess here of dangling threads. So that is where I'm at on B. It really wouldn't take a whole lot to finish it, but I think I'm like almost every other stitcher when you get stopped for a reason. And sometimes it takes a little bit to remember what the reason was and work your way around it or through it, or think to come back to it because something else shiny is, or in my case, it's just not with me. It's somewhere else and I can't get to it. So this is by Val's Stuff. And I've spoke about this before, potentially going to be making multiples of both. We'll show you back. Okay, so this is Just Can't Hold My Liquor. I think I've called it dog, you know, dog having a problem with his liquor or whatever, and I'm sorry the lighting is so bad. But the first one says Just Can't Hold My Liquor, and the other one says Dog Lover, and I anticipate doing multiples of this throughout the coming year, or perhaps years. So this is where my hat. Now I believe they used a charm. Yes, they used a charm for his dog bone bow. There we go. But I just stitched it because I don't have a dog bone, and I didn't want to wait till I found a dog bone to do that part of the pattern. Should I find one down the road that I like and I think will look good, I'll just put it over the top of the stitches, potentially. The next that I'm really close to a finish on is Liberty. It is a zipper kit from Bent Creek. It will look like this, or it should look like that, similar to that. And it was one I was missing 2 colors on, and because I had stitched this before, so I was trying to stitch it again without having to purchase additional colors, which I thought I had enough for everything and I did not. So sometimes that's what MJ gets for thinking. So we got the blue color that was missing, thanks to great friends who sent it to me. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get done. Woohoo! I just have a little bit of border left, and what is this border? It's 3021 brown, which should be like in every stash, and it's probably in 20 projects where the rest of my stash is, but it's not with me. So this is where I've stopped on it. I have the rest of the border to do, and then to put these little tiny stars. The rest of these little tiny stars on. So this is in my, you know, should I get by a store? I'll grab a skein of 3021 so I can finish this. But I love it so much, I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't stitch this again. So I don't have a plan to pass the stash on this yet. But should that change, you know, holler if it's something you're been looking for. Might be able to change my mind, right? Let's see. I've never done giveaways or anything. I've had some bad experiences with those in some other areas. So, but I think about them a lot, and how I could do them and how I could make it safe for me and enjoyable for you. So I'm contemplating ideas. Okay, this is another kit. For some reason I'm into kits a lot lately. This is Lizzie and Kate, and this is a boxer's kit because it all comes in a like an old CD case. And I guess there's 4 of them in this series. Today was a total waste of makeup. We're not gossiping, we're networking, which is this one. Well-behaved women rarely make history, which I definitely want that one. All You Need Is Love and Chocolate. I want that one as well, you know, and yeah, I think I want all 4 of them. So I will be looking for these. I guess in addition to be called boxers, they're also called giggle boxers. This is number B30. Again, it's a Lizzie Kate, and this is how far. I have We're in Go. I think that was the same place it was last time I showed it. So I received this fabulous thread holder that I'm in process of transitioning all thread to. It says sarcasm, just another free service I offer. And so it's for those who know me, they definitely will think that that's pretty appropriate, I think. And I'm trying to put these back in a semi-organized fashion so that we don't have to have another video of, oh gee, MJ's organizing what's in the bag. Not that I won't still have a whole bunch of those in the future, but at least not this one's going to be that. This is a kit that was gifted to me. It's part of the Autumn Harvest collection by Mill Hill. It's called Happy Camper. One I thought I would have finished by now. I keep just getting stuck on it. I do have a hard time with trying so hard not to damage my perforated paper. So this is where I'm at on Happy Camper. Now, I had a specific needle for this project, and I also have lost that specific needle. So I know that has a lot to do with why this particular one has got installed. Now my next Autumn Harvest is here. It's not in the same series, but this is MH18-9206. It's Halloween. I haven't even opened it yet. Isn't that cute? And it comes with, you know, as all of these do, it comes with the beads. It does come with 2 different needles, beading needle and a regular needle. It comes with a little magnet, and it comes with this little star. So this will be my next kit start. I don't know if it's gonna be my next start, but it's gonna be my next kit start, if that makes any sense. I had a different one planned for my kit start, but I gotta hold on for a little bit. I got a buddy I gotta wait on, catch up to me. Not catching up to me, I'm hardly stitching. It's just catching up to my ideas. We'll put it that way. Everything has to get back in the bag. Okay. And I have a couple of things to follow up on, events and meetings and friends, and I have a whole bunch of that to catch up on, but I'm not in the headspace for that quite yet. So once I am there, you'll be there. Okay. Another one gifted to me. This is from a magazine. This is Summer Ice, and it is from the Just Cross Stitch August 2023, and the design is by Jenny Barton of JB Cross Stitch. And I love the colors. Unfortunately, I don't have all the colors. So this one I'm doing a bit of kind of stash diving. I'm doing it on this light blue 14 count Aida that I think just screams kind of, well, screams a lot of things. I like it for spring, I like it for summer, I like it for winter. It's kind of for me a nice all around, and I am jumping around. I'm jumping around a lot because I'm just trying to see different color combinations, which ones I like, which ones I don't like. Like I think this yellow might be a little bit too bright. So this yellow is a yellow that was used, but it was used in a small portion, and I'm using it as like an accent on one of the ice pops, and I'm using it as the main yellow on the same ice pop. And I think it may be too bright, but because I'm not using a true like aquamarine or turquoisey color for the blue, I think it's going to, it may work. I mean, it may work out. I have a finish. I'm not sure if I showed that I finished my patriotic heart. I mean, I haven't fully finished it, but it's finished. And I'm definitely doing this one again. I have like 2 people have requested if I stitch that for them. So that's definitely going to be done again. And again, at least twice. The next one I started was Happy Easter. This was a gift, and it's a Stony Creek. Thank you so much to my gifter. And it's done on white. I guess it's banding that has like a colored edge on the banding, but or maybe they did sew that on. I guess they did sew that on. And so I pulled the colors and I started it, and I was going gangbusters, and then I went, wait a minute, this doesn't even show up. So I have Easter, and you can't even like barely see that. So I either, and I love this, this is, I cannot remember the name of it, it's a 14 count Ada that I think I got at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the two. And what I'm putting is I'm doing purple, but I'm also doing a little bit of, just because I wanted to play with it. I know a lot of people call it the, you know, all of these kinds of shiny, by either DMC or Artiste or some of these other brands, that they're not really these metallics. And no, they're not easy to work with. This one is 67% nylon and 33% metallic. And this is, you know, purchased from Hobby Lobby, and it's in the color Crystal. And I actually like how it looks. You know, it's just shiny enough. And that's one reason why I went with this darker fabric instead of putting it on white. But then, because I knew I wanted to use a little bit of shiny on it, but then the colors for the letters are not dark enough. So I will need to frog and restart on a different thread, a different fabric yet to be determined. Although I think this little piece of silver gray, I'm not sure if it will work if it's like a light enough difference. And then I have another finish. This is Ollie and Friends. This was a complimentary pattern from the Colorado Stitcher, and this was done on the other piece of that 14 count. I just call it gray. I think it's technically called silver. To me, it just looks like a grayish, a bluish gray, like a blue tinted gray. The rest of what is in this bag is miscellaneous supplies and things that I need to wrap my head around. When I get to the things with friends and events, I will be showing some stash acquisitions in those. They're trying to jump out and be shown now. Not yet. This is not your time. Okay, so this is a shepherd's bush pattern, and it is Spooky Scissor Fob, and I'm not doing it on a small count. In fact, I'm doing it on a very large count. So I think it was designed to be on 32. Let me double check. If I look at the pattern. Yeah, 32 count prairie grain linen, of which I don't know. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So the front is the beautiful spooky witch, and the back says All Hallows Eve. And you smush it together and you stuff it, and it's a scissor fob. Well, mine, I think this is 11 count fabric, and it's in like an off-white beige tone, really soft feel. I love it. And so I started, decided I was going to do spooky on it and make it more of a like ornament size. And I did not really look at like how much bigger from 32 count to 11 count it was going to make it. This is way bigger than an ornament. And I have a feeling I'm gonna have to try to find somebody who can turn it into a flat fold or something for me, or just a really large kind of pillow to put like someday if I get a dough bowl kind of thing going on. Now, I totally messed up. In the pattern, there is a symbol that is a square with a whole bunch of little lines in it, and then there's a square all the way filled in. And the square all the way filled in is 310 black, and the square with squiggly little lines is purple, dark purple. Because I have such bad eyesight, I saw both of them as 310. So she should have a kind of a row of dark purple here, and most of this black should be dark purple. And I contemplated frogging it out, and I didn't do that. So like this part right here should be the yellow and the black that's going vertically, the straight up and down portion of her shirt, but this whole portion and this whole portion that is black is supposed to be, it's not right here where I can get to it. It's supposed to be the 3834, which color is called Deep Wizard Purple. And so that's this, I don't want to look at it as a deep color, but that's this purplish color. So I'm trying to decide, and I think I am. I think I'm going to go ahead and continue like she is, and I'm going to put the purple on the ends of her sleeves, even though that's the only purple that will be in her outfit. There's none in her hat. I think I'm still going to do that. Then this green that is in her face is the called for. It is called to be Monster Green. And she looks so fair. And this is how dark she is. And this is the correct color. So, I mean, I don't mind that she looks like the Wicked Witch of, you know, from the Wizard of Oz. But that's why I kind of haven't finished her face, because I think it's really going to depend on how much I can kind of brighten up the rest of it and make it look right. Or if I'm going to have to frog out that part of her sleeves that doesn't have the purple in it and put that in, then it'll kind of offset how dark her face is. So there's some contemplation I need to do, which is why this one got stalled. But again, another one that putting forth a reasonable amount of effort, it should, you know, stitch up. Well, not a fast stitcher, but it shouldn't take too long to stitch it. We'll put it that way. Okay, so this one is kind of part of the Friends, but I'm going to show you because I made a sticky wicket and now I've got to a big issue. I've had this project for quite some time gifted to me. It's October 31st by Cottage Garden Samplings, and it's a beautiful raven on a gorgeous pumpkin with a beautiful border, and I love it. And it's from the A Time for All Seasons series, and this is the 10th one in the series. I have no others, but I think I'm probably gonna have to get some of them, or all of them, depending on the direction life goes. So I was looking for a perfect piece of fabric for it, and was gifted a gorgeous piece which works exactly like the tone I wanted. I couldn't find this exact fabric. It wasn't available from the designer. I'm just gonna kind of show you like the top little bit of this. This is just, it's kind of the perfect variegation. The tone is so similar to the one that was called for that, that I love it. So I started October 31st from the center. I'm not the best center starter, but you know, the piece was measured out by professionals, you know, giving the appropriate borders, and I was gifted the specialty threads, and I started it, and last night I was like, let me look at it and, you know, see which direction I want to go. I did realize I missed one of the acquiring two of the threads. One was this kind of bluish tone, and the other was this main kind of greenish tone in the pumpkin. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to like skip the blue tone and kind of use this variegated that I've been using. Where did it go? Now it's hiding. And I said I wasn't going to show anything until now it's decided to hide. Okay, it's truly hidden. But it's a multi-variegated blacks, blues, greens. It's a perfect color for this raven. It's just, it's not quite blue enough, but blue enough that I'm happy with it. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna keep going with what I'm going with. I'll skip the blue, and I'll decide later if I'm gonna go back and just use the same variegated thread in the blue areas, or if I wanted to go ahead and go get that blue color and put it in. It wasn't gonna really stop me from going any further because I'm nowhere near that part of the pattern yet. However, when I was unfolding it and looking at it, I was like, wow, my piece of fabric is way too big. You know, because here's his feet, and by the time I put the pumpkin in the pumpkin's not gonna have a, you know, 3-inch border. And I know that the person that measured this out measured it for a 3-inch border. Then that's when I realized I'm going the wrong way. I counted, I double counted, I triple counted, I folded it in half, I put a piece of thread in the top, and I still started going the wrong direction. So he is going this way, where he's, you know, his head's going to be here and the bottom of the pumpkin's going to be here, and then he's going to be like here to here. So I'm going to have like 5 inches on each side, which, for as beautiful as this fabric is and as expensive as it is, I don't want to waste that much fabric. And I don't wear all of what I have stitched so far is fancy floss. I don't think I'm so far in it that if I'm not careful, I could unpick it and then kind of try to lay it out, and maybe not restitch it into this project, but use it as for something else. You know, put it in a small or something. So that is why this one is stopped, is I have to make that decision. If I'm going to try to rip it out and then add it to, try and save it for another like small project. if I'm going to keep going as it is, have the really wide margins. When it comes to finishing it, if it's going to be framed, it's just going to be cut off, and then it's going to be like, you know, 3 inches of waste on each side, which will break my heart, because they'll probably have to cut it to make the bottom border and the side borders not be too different. Like, you want your margins to be similar, like a 1/4 of an inch difference or something is fine, but you don't want like a 1 inch vertical margin and a 3 inch horizontal margin. To my eyes, I don't like that, unless I was going to put some wording or some embellishments or something. And I did think about that, which, okay, here's your input time. So if I do this, keep going the way I am, it's going to have a small border here and a small border here, which as this is framed, I mean, I'll probably have to add some fabric to it for them to pull and stretch, but as far as, you know, there's not a lot of the border of the fabric showing. So two things. Do I take this outer border and add some distance to it on the sides, like join it on this side and make it like maybe out to here to kind of take up some of the border on that side, you know, out to here, take it up on this side, and then just kind of extend this, you know, fudge the border and take up the space, and then leave just empty, you know, more empty fabric here, like lots of space between the border and the pumpkin and the border and the tail. You know, leave lots of space. That's option 1. Option 2 is stitch it as it is, and then in these sides where there's going to be a larger margin, because it says October 31st, put like 2, 0, 2, 4, or 5, or 6, or whatever year, like make really large letters for the year that I completed in, or I could put 2024 for the year that I was gifted it in, or that I started it in, you know, write Halloween or write the word Raven. Like I'll have room to kind of figure out. So that's option 2, put some sort of wording on each side. Okay. Option 3 is go as it is, have a really short vertical margin, have a really wide horizontal margin, and worry about it down the road when it's completely stitched, and whenever it's fully finished, decide what to do with just the fact that I'm going to waste some fabric. Okay, so please, you know, comment your ideas, your thoughts. You know, I thought I was doing right, counting and measuring and counting, but I think sometimes, even though I don't think I'm sidetracked, I think I get a little sidetracked. So, and it wasn't Wine's fault this time. So, you know, your ideas are welcome, appreciated, your thoughts. Thank you all for encouraging me to keep coming back and not giving up on this channel. Every time I think I'm just not an appropriate Flosstuber, someone will, you know, say that they miss it or enjoy it or would like to see more, or are just generous with their care and concern and compliments, and it motivates me to keep going.